I'll never forget the day I got the call that my mentor, my friend, my brother, J.R. Stone, was in his last days. Hopped on a plane, flew to North Carolina, took a bus to Boone, took a car up the mountains to be with J.R. for her last time, really. And it was actually a beautiful thing, even though it was so sad. And it was so hard for his lovely wife, Anne. It was so hard for me. It was so hard for everyone. But because J.R.'s life was so embossed with music, so was his passing. And every night, the hillbillies, the beautiful people in the mountains, would come down to his house, and J.R. would be sitting on a couch. He'd be kind of wrapped up in a blanket, and we'd all be sitting in a semicircle around him, and we would just play banjos, mandolins, dulcimers, guitars. We'd all be playing. And the thing was, we were all playing instruments that J.R. had built. And it was really a special time. J.R. took me aside at one point, and he gifted me with one of the last dulcimers he ever built. And that's this little beauty right here. I couldn't believe it. He just said, "You should take this one." So, as it turned out, J.R. had to have blood transfusions frequently. And so Anne and I would go with J.R. and he'd lay in the bed and he'd be getting his blood transfusion. And I would sit there next to his bed with this brand new baby that had been given to me. And I would sit there just trying to play those tunes that he and I played for so many years. And he'd sing along and, quietly, and I'd sing the songs, and we were just having that moment together. And on this one particular day, I looked up, and there was the nurse standing in the doorway, and she was kind of looking at me like with a bit of a scowl. And I kind of smiled at her, and she said, "Well, don't you know any Christian songs on that little thing?" And I thought, "Well, yes, I do." And she goes, "Well, why don't you sing one? Look where we are. We're in the presence of the Lord here. You should do a Christian song. And if you do a Christian song, I'll throw on a harmony that'll send you home." And so I thought, okay, lady. I banged out a little bitty song. This song was written by Tom T. Hall. And I played this with everything I had just to let her know that I knew where I was and I knew what had to be played, and so I did. And I will also say, she's not here now, but she did throw in a really beautiful harmony on the chorus. And this is the song I played. I know a man, he was a sinner. I know a man, he was a drunk. I know a man, he was a loser. And one day he went out and made an altar out of a stone. Me and Jesus got our own thing going. Me and Jesus got it all worked out. Me and Jesus got our own thing going. We don't need nobody to tell us what it's all about. There's 3 verses, but you get the idea. And she did throw on that harmony. And it was so funny to watch J.R. looking at me going, where did he come up with that song? But that's a little story for you about this beautiful dulcimer and that very sad but actually very beautiful moment with my man J.R.